The doctor didn't really go through this. I mean, I suppose I just told him what my symptoms were. So, like I say, when I was younger, I had this chronic fear that if I thought anything in my head, something bad would happen to a member of my family. So to counteract that, I would chant the same thing again and again and again to make it. Then in my head, I'd feel that it wouldn't happen. So that could go on for half an hour of me chanting, and then in my head, and then if I did anything wrong and I didn't apologise, I would again have the apologising repetitively.
I wish, with the medication, it comes with a leaflet, and that's sometimes helpful, but I've often had side effects that are not on the leaflet. And really, you kind of, when you've got a mental illness, you're learning about your own illness, and you are your own expert. So I found often I know more than a GP does, because they don't know about the medications, they're not experienced enough. And quite often I've gone for long periods suffering with side effects, and it's not been diagnosed. At one point I had to take some medication for Parkinson's to combat unwanted eye movements, and it took almost a year to diagnose it with my GP, and I was a bit annoyed about that. I mean, this medication, Parkinson's medication, it's supposed to be for older people, and it causes kidney damage, so I didn't really want to be on it. So I think some advice on appropriate medication is really good, and I've found the best people for that is your pharmacist. Always talk to your pharmacist about side effects, because they really know what they're talking about.
My cleaning and stuff came later on when those kind of symptoms changed. I then went on to having to scrub my hands, and I would scrub them until they bled, which means still to this day I have old people's hands. And people used to, when I was in secondary school, people used to make fun of me because my hands always looked like old ladies' hands, and it was through cleaning, and nobody would know about it because I didn't tell anyone. So those were the symptoms that I would have. But now I have symptoms from the medication. I get fidgety legs, terribly fidgety legs. I struggled with sleep. Because I'm not a depressive type, and I was taking antidepressants, although they calmed my anxieties down, they also made me quite over the top. So I ended up with 2 cats, even though I don't like cats. Now I love them, but things like that. There are positives and negatives of taking the medication, but I find that the positives outweigh the negatives. And because I take the medication, I can now have cats, which I couldn't have done beforehand anyway, because of the cleanliness of cats. So it swings and roundabouts, to be honest. But yeah, now I have 2 cats.